Welcome to Mitchell Maths. In this video we are going to look at advanced questions involving completing the square. By advanced questions I mean questions with a number in front of the x squared. If you'd like to see more basic questions, please check out my other videos. So the first question wants us to express 2x squared plus 16x plus 29 in this form here. First thing we're going to need to do, step one, is take out the number here out of the first two terms, and make sure you do this just for the first two terms and not the number as well at the end. Therefore we're going to take out 2 and we'll get x squared plus 8x, close the brackets there, so I've taken a 2 out the first two terms, plus 29. The next step for me to do is, as you would with normal completing the square questions, is I'm going to half the 8 here to get x plus 4 squared. And this is where I need to be careful because I've got x plus 4, x plus 4. And if I expanded this, what I'd get is I'd get x squared plus 4x plus 4x plus 16, which would simplify to x squared plus 8x plus 16. Usually in normal completing the square questions, I'd just take away the number that this here. But because there's a number in front of the brackets, I'm going to need to times that 16 by that number, which in this case is 2, which means I'm going to take away 32, because 16 times 2 is 32. Therefore, I'll get minus 3 on the end. And that's my answer, 2x plus 4 squared minus 3. The extra steps compared to normal questions is taking the 2, or whatever number is in front of the x squared, out at the start of the first two terms, and then remembering to multiply whatever the brackets gives you by the number in front for you to take it away. Right, the next question is a solve question. We've got 3x squared plus 24x minus 3 equals 0. It wants us to give our answers to 2 decimal places, which is very important for our end point. Okay, so first things first, take the 3 out, which gives me 3x squared plus 24 divided by 3 is 8. So I'll get 8x minus 3, remember to do nothing to the number. Then I'll get 3x plus 4 squared. Well, 4 times 4 is 16. 16, remember to times it by the number in front, which is 3. Therefore, I'll get minus 3 minus, well, 16 times 3 is 48. Minus 48 equals 0. Well, minus 3 minus 48 is minus 51. Now I'm going to solve it like I usually do, so that what that means is I need to make x the subject. I'll get 3x plus 4 squared equals 51. Before I can square root it, though, I'm going to need to divide by 3, because that's the number I need to divide by the number in front of the brackets before I can move on to the next step. So if I divide by 3, well, 51 divided by 3 gives me 17. Then I can square root it to get rid of this squared, which will give me x plus 4 equals the square root of 17. It could be a plus or a minus, because if you square root a number, say square root of 9 could be 3, because 3 times 3 is 9, or it could be minus 3, because minus 3 times minus 3 is 9 also. So when you square root a number, it can either be positive or it can be negative, because when you multiply two negatives together, you get a positive. And my final step would be to minus the 4. Well, almost final in this case. I've got minus 4 plus or minus the square root of 17. If the question has asked us to give it in third form, I would be finished. But because this question asks us to give our answer as a decimal, to do decimal places, we'll need to type that into the calculator. Well, minus 4 plus the square root of 17 would give you 0.12, and minus 4 minus square root of 17 would give you minus 8.12. Okay. So yeah, do check in solve questions what it wants to give you, what the question wants to give your answer to. Find the coordinates of the turning point of the curve y equals 2x squared minus 16x plus 23. Well, the turning point is where the gradient is 0, so if we look at an x squared graph, the turning point would be on the minimum point of the curve. First things first, we need to complete the square, which should be take 2 out, which will give us x squared minus 8x plus 23. We'll need to half the number here. 4 times 4 is 16. 16 times 2 is 32, so we're going to need to take away 32 from the number at the end, which will give us y equals 2x minus 4 squared minus 9. And if we want the coordinates of the minimum point, so that's when y is at its minimum value, well, this bracket needs the smallest thing we can make. Because this bracket's going to be squared, the smallest number we can make this is 0. Because if we make it a minus times a minus would be a positive, which would make y bigger. Therefore, we need, if we want to make this bracket 0, we need to make x equal to 4. Good, because 4 take away 4 is 0. And when this is 0, y is equal to minus 9. Therefore, the coordinates of our turning point are going to be 4 minus 9. In this question, we're going to have a look at what happens when the x squared is negative. The first thing we need to do is take the negative out of the first two terms, which will give us x squared. Remember to change the sign of the 4x. Then we're going to halve this term, which will give us 2. Right, usually this bracket would give us, so that bracket would give us 4. The thing is, we're going to times that 4 by minus 1, because there's a minus in front of the brackets, which would give us minus 4. Therefore, to balance out the term, we need to add 4. So do remember that when there's a negative in front of the brackets, whatever you squared, you're going to have to add on instead of take it off, because when you times it by the minus, it's going to become negative. Therefore, to balance it out, you're going to need to do it a little bit differently. And our answer would be minus x plus 2 squared plus 1, because minus 3 plus 4 is 1. Right, find the coordinates of the turning point of the curve y equals minus 2x squared plus 20x plus 77. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my minus 2 out the first two terms. And that would give me in the brackets x squared. Remember to change the sign of the other term. Plus 10x plus 77. My next step's going to be minus 2x minus 5 squared plus 77. Minus 5 times minus 5 is 25. I'm going to times the 25 by minus 2, which will give me minus 50. So instead of taking the 50 off the final term, I'm going to add it on. Therefore, I'm going to get y equals minus 2x squared. 77 plus 50 is plus 127. Therefore, my turning point, well, to make this 0, x would need to equal 5. And when this is 0, y is equal to this number here, which is 127. Therefore, our coordinates are going to be 5, 127. Right, the final question we're going to look at in this video is we've got 5x squared plus 20x plus c. And when you've got this symbol here, which has three lines, that means equivalent to. Now, the important bit here is that you have b and you have 4b instead of c at the end. And what that means is that whatever goes here, you're going to have 4 times that number here. So we start working out 5x squared plus 20x plus c when we complete the square. First we take the 5 out, which will give us x squared plus 4x in brackets plus c. Then we'd have 5x plus 2 squared plus c. Well, 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 5 is 20. So we'd need to take away 20. Now I can see from this that b is equal to 2. Therefore, I know that 4b would be equal to, well, 2 times 4 is 8. So 4b would equal 8. That means that this term at the end here, c minus 20, is going to be equal to 8, because you can see that that term is going to be equivalent to that term at the end there. Therefore, c minus 20 equals 8. I'm going to add 20 onto both sides, and I'll get c equals 28. Right, thank you for watching. I hope you found that helpful. For more, if you'd like to see more videos, remember to click the subscribe button. And for questions, please visit the website www.mitchellmathsandscience.com. The link's in the description.